What's up, fight fans? Welcome to Mr. Mustache MMA News. Today, I want to discuss a really exciting upcoming middleweight fight this Saturday, UFC 316. But before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly and help the channel grow. All right, guys, getting right into it, we got Kelvin Gastelum taking on Joe Pyfer this Saturday in the middleweight division in a fight where I think it's pretty clear cut and dry in how this is going to play out. Granted, this is MMA, anything could happen. But I think that this is a tailor-made fight for Joe Pyfer to go out there and get a big victory over a big-name veteran like Kelvin Gastelum. I mean, Joe Pyfer's got some of the nastiest power in middleweight history. I mean, he just hasn't been able to showcase it against the top-level talent yet. He's still in that prospect status. That fight with Jack Hermanson kind of slowed his progress down a little bit. A lot of people said fraud check. I don't think that at all. I think Jack Hermanson is a gold standard of testing, like, if you're ready or not. It's not if you're a fraud or not. It's just if you're ready for that next level. And I think Pyfer was still just very young, green, and he was able to go out there and lose a decision. But I think he took a lot of lessons from that loss. So I do not think at all that that was a fraud check type of performance. I think Jack Hermanson is a really good ranked middleweight. He's a guy who will never probably be top 5, but he's a good, I think he's a little bit better than Gatekeeper, but he's definitely that type of guy who you want to test your prospects against to see if they are UFC ranked caliber, right? Where Pyfer got sent back down to just the prospect level. He just wasn't able to break through into the contendership, right? Rattle off a nasty knockout victory over Marc-Andre Barrieu. And now we're going to go into the controversy of the fight that he had with Kelvin. The original fight was in the UFC Mexico City. I think the day of the fight, maybe even walkouts, the fight got called out. I don't know if it was earlier in the day. I don't necessarily remember, because I don't think Joe could cut the weight. But he got affected by, I think, the water out there, and he made himself very vocal about how he did not want that. He believes that as athletes and combat sport athletes should not fight at that type of altitude, period, and that they should not, I guess, be put in that type of maybe health environment. I'm not really sure. You know, he said there was one meal that he did not cook himself, and that was probably the one that got him sick. Well, I mean, there you go, man. You went to Mexico City and you didn't cross your T's and dot your I's, and that's what's going to happen. You know, they always say don't drink the water out there. It's not a myth. You know, it's going to get you sick. It's different out there. And he fucked around and found out, and he's blaming, you know, everybody else for his, you know, miscalculation. Right? He decided to just take it a little easy, and he paid for it. You know, and it happens, right? And that he's kind of come back and he's doubled down in his statement. He's not shitting on the Mexican people, and he said he was treated well while he was there. It's just, as an athlete, he does not want to perform there or compete there, right? All right, that's fair, but it was just the way that he just gave himself off. It was just ignorant and arrogant, and it was like, dude, just shut up. Just shut up, move on. And just let your performance do the talking. But then again, this is exactly why these guys are cage fighters. So it didn't make himself look good. But at the same time, I understand his frustrations with how it all played out. And MMA fans are horrible. They're an extra level of toxic. But going into this fight with Kelvin Gastelum, right? You know, you have Joe, who, he's going to be big. He's going to be strong. I'm hoping that there's no issues with the weight cut this week. He cuts a lot of weight from 230. Good wrestling, great power. But he's going against a guy like Kelvin, who's got great wrestling and he's got slick boxing. But Kelvin, and I've been saying this for years, he's a welterweight. And he found a lot of good success at middleweight, knocking out guys like Michael Bisping, beating Jacare. Found a lot of success, had that back and forth fight with Izzy, but after that fight with Izzy, you really kind of saw the difference in the size with him and those top 5, top 7 guys. And where Kelvin can compete at middleweight with some of the lesser ranked fighters, that's about as far as he's going to get. Now, at welterweight, world class, Joaquin Buckley, it's just not willing to do the discipline to buckle himself down and get to 170. And that's his choice, right? At this point, it's his choice. He clearly does not have the aspirations to have a world title, and that's fine. So at this point, I think I want to highlight, because we're here, right? I'm not going to complain about wanting him to be at 170, but I am going to sit here and say he is going to be undersized. He is going to lack the power, but he is going to have the crisp, slick boxing that he's always had. He's going to have really good wrestling, technical wrestling like he's always had. He performs really well as the underdog. He was picked last in the Ultimate Fighter, and he's proven. He's made a whole UFC career out of it, still young, 33 years old. He's got his youth on his side, especially at 185. So you can't really sit there. I think Joe, has taken less damage. He's been through less wars. Still very young in his own right. So I really think that, just the lack of size, the lack of power, I think Joe Pyfer has that X factor. But let's say he gasses himself out. Maybe he hurts Kelvin in the first. He's not able to get the job done. I can definitely see the cardio, the experience, the veteran savvy abilities of Kelvin Gastelum come out later in the fight. I can definitely see that happening as well. He's got slick counter strikes and counter boxing. I can see him catching Joe Pyfer as well in that regard. But I don't know, man. I just think Joe's going to be bigger, stronger, faster, just more physical out there. And I think that is what is going to get the job done. And he's hungry. He believes in himself. He's got a lot of confidence. And that, I think, all those things combined, I think is a really nice recipe to get his hand raised against a guy like Kelvin Gastelum. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on the fight. Do you guys have Joe Pyfer? Do you guys have Kelvin Gastelum? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on the whole thing. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Mr. Mustache, MMA News out. Let's fucking go, fight fans.